Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Debt Over It. We are back with Mara, and we talked last week about just being a kind of a videographer in general, how she transitioned into it. And this time I want to focus on kind of just those who want to become videographers. So this is kind of for two people, those who want to become videographers, and then also for brides to be or couples that are about to get married. And she's going to kind of explain the vendor side of things and the background of that. So a bunch of questions there. Thank you for being with me again, Mara.
Yes, happy to be here.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to start with the aspiring videographer side. So if anybody is interested in becoming a videographer or even photographer or anything, I would say in the like wedding space, I think it could apply to a lot of things. I know you talked about this when we first spoke, but can you talk a bit about how you got started into this, like very briefly, and what you would recommend for people to get into it?
Yeah, so I picked up video as a hobby whenever I was in middle school, and I just kind of became known as the girl with the camera. Um, and whenever I was going to college, I went like the safer route, so I went into marketing, with my goal being that I would still end up in like video advertising type jobs. But a high school friend reached out to me and asked me to video her wedding. And I was naive and up for the challenge. It didn't go terribly, definitely learned a lot, but I knew kind of from that moment that, like, oh, this is something that I really enjoy. And it just kind of slowly but surely grew into what is now like a full-time business for me.
So if anybody does want to hear more of her story, way more detail in the first episode. So that will be linked down below or in the show notes. So you do primarily weddings, as we talked about. How do you prepare for those weddings? Like if somebody comes to you, they book a consultation, right? Like a free call or something, and how does all of that go?
Yeah, so with COVID, so I started my business in 2019 technically, but I only had one wedding that year. So 2020 was my first full year in weddings. It's also the year I graduated from college and COVID. So not the best year to try and start getting into the industry. The first like couple of years, the booking process was a lot different than it is now. And from what I've heard from before COVID, for my first, I'd say 3 years, I was booking people sometimes 2 years out from their wedding date. So it was kind of crazy. Like people would be reaching out. It's like 2022 and they're reaching out for 2025. And I'm
Mm,
like, I'm not even thinking about that as the
that's
possibility of
crazy.
a year yet,
Yeah.
which is fun. Like it's exciting whenever you're like growing your business of like, oh wow, people are like wanting to book me already. But now, like last year, I kind of got stuck in a position where my pricing was from 2 years ago, and I had raised my pricing at that point. So it was like I was working for a lot less money for some people than I was for other people. So it kind of got imbalanced there. But the industry as a whole kind of settled since then. I'd say like 8 to 12, sometimes 18 months in advance. I do get inquiries. They send me an inquiry form on my website, and I try not to ask too many details because they're inquiring with like so many photographers, so many videographers, like all the venues. So they're just getting like bombarded with questions. So I'm like, keep it simple, just get the bare minimum. And then I respond to that inquiry. I ask them some questions. I send them like my pricing info, which is on my website. A lot of vendors don't have like any pricing information on their website. And I've been hearing that that is very frustrating for couples.
Mhm.
So I kind of know like whenever somebody does inquire, they have an idea of like where my pricing starts. So I send them just like a page of pretty much all the information that they would need, how I like to like film a wedding, what to expect from me, my payment plan options, a breakdown of my pricing, different things that they can like add on if they want more, a whole bunch of information. And then I do a free consultation call where they like it could be one of them, it could be both of them. We do a video call and we just kind of like chat about the wedding, the plans, how they met, what they like to do as a couple, just to kind of like break the ice a little bit. Because I'm not a super salesy person in the sense of like I don't want to push people and say like you need to buy this and I'm gonna put this in there. Like it, I'm much more of a human connection kind of sales of like I want them to feel good and like get my energy through that call to the point where they're like, oh yeah, we like her, like we like her personality, we like the way she edits, like let's book.
Hmm.
And I've honestly had people book me like and not even do a consult call, like just
Hmm.
through emails and seeing my work. They're like, "Yep, we're good.
Awesome.
Send us the contract."
Yeah.
So once we have that call, I send them like a proposal. So it's kind of like customized to each couple. The way that I do my pricing is a base package to where it's like pretty much the minimum of what I have seen most people want. And so I put that on the proposal. And then I also add in all of the little add-ons that we either mentioned or I'll highlight certain ones, but then they can kind of play around with that and see like, oh, if we added this, this would be the price or like different stuff like that. So I send that to them and then basically I'm kind of like, let me know if you have any questions. I'm not going to be annoying. I'm not going to try to sell you on anything. Most of the time they book. Once we get to that point, there's some people that I'll send that to and then I just never hear from them again. So that's kind of like all of the before booking stuff. And then leading up to the wedding, I try not to like be too involved unless they come to me for help. So I'll send it's like one or two like automated emails through my system
Hmm.
that is just kind of like, hey, these are some things to keep in mind. Like since you have a videographer, it's a little bit different than like weddings that don't have a videographer. Or these are things that like I need in the timeline that like you might not think about. So I'll send that kind of stuff. And then sometimes they'll ask me for help with different things, and I'm, happy to help anybody that needs it. So I might spend like an hour, sometimes 2 hours going back and forth about different things. But most of the time, if they have like a wedding planner, I'm like not talking to them until we get to like a month out from the wedding.
Hmm.
I do follow everyone on Instagram so that I can kind of interact and like get to know them a little bit better. But
Hmm.
social media is not always the truth. So
Yeah.
take it with a
Yeah.
grain of salt. And then, yeah, before the wedding, around a month out, we do one more video call. And like I send a questionnaire beforehand and we go over all of the information about the timeline and any like specific things that they want me to be sure to capture, any people they want me to be sure to capture, just kind of talk about like the logistics of the day and then what they want from their like final videos.
Hmm.
So it's like if they know that they're having like a something special during the ceremony, but they're like, that's like more private. We don't really want that in the video. Like there's some religious traditions that are like important for the day, but like they don't want on video. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's good. Like we'll stop recording or we'll record, but we'll cut that part out, whatever the situation is. Yeah, so then go to the wedding day and film it. And yeah,
I like the price transparency, like at least having that base rate or kind of what to expect. Because as somebody who's been searching for different vendors, like if you don't have pricing, I'm less likely to reach out to you because I'm like, this is going to be way out of budget, or yeah, it's
it's
just more
like
work for me.
it's like the
Yeah.
restaurants that are like so fancy they don't put the price on the menu.
Yeah.
And it's like we're not like there is a market like that. Like there
Mm-hmm.
are people in the industry that only do video
Mm-hmm.
and they charge $12,000 to start for
Wow.
1 day of video.
Yeah.
Like there is a very high-end luxury market. Those people aren't gonna go to your website to look for your pricing.
Mm-hmm.
They're having a planner do everything. The planner is basically picking somebody out and sending them the invoice. So, like those kinds of things, if you don't see a price, a lot of the times it's because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But especially where I'm at in Pittsburgh, the market is like it's pretty decent. There's a decent amount of like competition and everything like that. But for the most part, videography is still pretty new. So a lot of people are like, it's not necessarily selling them on like, I'm the best choice for you. It's like, I am like the best choice for you, but also it is worth investing in
Mm-hmm.
videography for your wedding. So it's almost like a uphill battle you have to fight sometimes. But just having the pricing out there, it kind of qualifies the leads to where I'm not having to be like, oh, your budget is $500. I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Because they'll see the minimum and they're like, oh,
mhm,
that's not within range. So we're not going to
mhm,
reach out to her. That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's a good strategy to have. I mean, I guess it depends on who you want to be seen as in the market, but even for myself, like with the coaching, there was a time I wasn't putting pricing on and I only did that for like 2 months. I didn't like it. I didn't because when I go to a website and I don't see pricing, I'm clicking out. Like
Mhm,
I'm not gonna move forward unless it's
mhm,
like I am dying to work with that person because that's pretty rare, you know? So yeah, I
mhm.
like the transparency around that.
Yeah. Even like a starting price point, like you don't have to put your full,
Yeah.
like, this is everything that I charge, and like, you don't have to put all of it out in the open, but just having like the starting price. Or I've seen a lot
Mhm.
of photographers will do like an average investment on their couples. So
Yeah.
like it could be less than that or it could be more than that. So there's different ways to kind of do it, but it just makes it a lot easier on the couples that they know going in, like, oh, this is within my budget. We can do this. Let's inquire and get more information.
Yeah.
For a while, like whenever I was first starting, there was a lot of like educational content being put out by people who have been in the industry for a while. And there was a handful that were like, don't put your pricing on your website. Like,
Yep.
you need to get them on a call and try to sell them
Yep.
your packages. And people now are just kind of like, no, like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to waste our time. We're planning a wedding. You're not the only vendor we're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna find somebody who is more transparent about everything. And I've had good success with it. I mean, there's still people who like don't read my website and just inquire and are like, what's your pricing? And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's literally two or three spots on my website. You could have
Mm-hmm.
just like my inquiry box, I have my starting price above it.
Yeah.
And people still don't see it sometimes. But
Right. That's the same advice. So I worked with a coach last year who is the one who encouraged me to remove the pricing from my website. And yeah, he's like, oh, you just have to sell on the call. And that's when you introduce the price and you go quiet. Like you have to just be salesy. It's just not my personality, obviously not yours either. And I think that's just you I think that's fine in business. Like if you want to be salesy and that type of person, so be it, you know, more power to
Mhm.
you. That's not how I work. So yeah, just knowing where you kind of stand, I think is
Yeah.
important.
I feel like stuff that's like not a necessity, like
Mm-hmm.
like say somebody's like trying like getting quotes for fixing their roof or
Yeah.
something. Like that's something that it's like, okay, you can try to sell them on stuff. You can try to like they're probably gonna take out a loan for it if they don't
Hmm.
have the money for it. Like they need it fixed. So
Hmm.
like you can kind of sell stuff like that. But whenever it's like your wedding where you're either trying to stay within a budget or you are like you only have a certain amount of time for them to actually like pay you the money, for them to come up with the money.
Hmm.
Like it is just really hard to try and sell somebody on something whenever they don't have the budget. Because it's
Right.
like they could love you all they want and they could be like, yeah, if we had the money, we would absolutely do it. But we can't just come up with a couple $1,000s in a week. Like,
Yeah.
and like, I don't encourage anybody taking a loan out for their wedding, but
Yeah. Yeah. And it just feels like icky after,
mm-hmm,
it just
mm-hmm.
depends who you are.
Yeah, and it's like I just get anxious,
Yeah.
like you said about like say the price and then wait. It's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a panic attack if I
Yep.
do that. Like
And it's wasting your time too. Like if
yeah.
they are like, whoa, that's way more than I was expecting, it's a waste of everybody's time. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's a big thing.
I feel like especially with you, like you're trying to help people with their money,
Mhm.
like to kind of sticker shock them
Yeah, it's
of
hard. It was hard
yeah.
when I was doing that. Yeah. What does a typical wedding day look like for you? Like between what time do you get there? What does setup look like? How long are you there? How do you wrap up? That type of thing.
Yeah, so I don't have like a set amount of hours in my package because I've found that it's hard for me to make a video that I feel is well-rounded and is like worth the money, I guess. Like as I've raised my prices, I just feel like, I don't want to say like, oh, you can have me there in the morning whenever you get ready, or I can stay for the party. Like you have to pick, or you have to pay me more money. Like that just I don't want to do that. So I'm like, I'll just charge enough to where I can be there all day. Typically, I'd say a minimum, I'm there 9 hours. Usually it's closer to 10, 11, sometimes 12.
Mhm.
Plus I have to like travel because I live about 45 minutes to an hour outside of the city. So a lot of times I'm driving into the city and it is a long day. But I'll get there early and I like to set up like my tripods. I have lights that I put like up on a light stand for the reception. And I get like if it's like an outside venue, I'll get drone shots of the venue. So I do that for like an hour, if that. And then I go to wherever they're getting ready. Sometimes I have to drive to like a hotel, or sometimes it's all on the same like property. And then I'm with them pretty much the whole day. Most of the time I have a second shooter that comes around that time as well. And they will go with like I'll be with one part of the couple and they'll be with the other person and we'll both be getting ready at the same time. So we're like getting the shots of like the makeup getting done, the like details, they're called like a flat lay,
Mhm.
with all of like the invitations and flowers and jewelry, everything kind of like displayed. That kind of stuff isn't super important for me. So I'm kind of just like letting the photographer do their thing. Because especially for my style, I'm much more like the candid moments throughout the day or interacting with people or more of like what would be considered like B-roll of like cocktail hour of people seeing each other for the first time in years or family getting together and having a good time. There's a lot of weddings where they'll have like yard games, like cornhole is a big one here. So people will just be like playing different games, getting drinks at the bar, having food at cocktail hour. Like, so that's kind of what I like to focus on. So I put less emphasis on like the beginning of the day stuff. But then once we get to like the ceremony and the reception, it's kind of like go, 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 go. And it's like no breaks, no time to even get a snack or go to the bathroom. Like you are pretty much laser focused in, because for me, I do 4 cameras for the ceremony, three on a tripod, like three on tripods, like one focused on each person from the side, one wider shot in the back, and then I have one that's on a gimbal, which is like a stabilizer, um, that I can kind of like move around, and like I'll try to get a shot of the couple with like all of the guests, like their heads in the shot, so it kind of has like the movement. So it's a lot of like running around, making sure all the cameras are still recording, making sure none of them overheat. That's a big issue.
Gosh, it sounds like a lot. It's like
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Yeah. Plus the audio. Like I have to mic up
Right.
people beforehand. And like sometimes that like they're like ready to go. And I'm like, you need a microphone.
Hmm.
So it's yeah, it's a lot of running around. It's almost like there's never enough time. And like I could have half an hour, but so for some reason I'm gonna need that whole half hour.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I'll have like all of that stuff going on. And then we'll do like the portraits of the couple, while like if I'm doing the portraits, my second shooter's getting like cocktail hour shots, like you kind of divide and conquer, and then reception kind of go right into it. And usually I don't know how it is like where you live, but up here we do receptions a lot of the time where it's like all of the formal events are before dinner. So it's like they do like a grand entrance, go into their first dance, cut their
Hmm.
cake. Sometimes they do parent dances then, and then they'll do like speeches.
Hmm.
And sometimes there'll be like 5 or 6 speeches. Like it all kind of happens and then it's over. Like that's it. Then it's just dinner and dancing. And I stay through getting like the dancing footage. I like to stay a little bit longer because sometimes people are like uncomfortable dancing in front of a camera,
Hmm.
especially for video. Like if it's photos, people are usually okay, but
Yeah.
whenever it's video, people kind of get shy or nervous, and they just think too much about it. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait until you get some more alcohol in you, and then I'll
That's a
come
good
back.
point. That's a good
But
idea.
even if they're like if they're not drinkers, because like I don't drink alcohol,
Hmm.
but it's like just the more that you are like comfortable having fun, like if I just pop in for like 30 seconds and during one song and then I get back out, like it's a lot easier for people to digest than if I'm just like standing on the dance floor for
Hmm.
2 hours. So yeah, that's kind of that. Usually I'll stay like into the dancing until I feel like I've gotten enough footage, or if they're doing like sometimes they'll do a sparkler exit or like some kind of finale type
Hmm.
thing at the end that they want me to capture. So I'll stay for that and then pack up, drive home. And then usually I copy my footage from my SD cards to a hard drive because I'm terrified of like losing one or something
Yeah.
happening. So I'm usually up to like 3 a.m. those
Wow.
nights and just doing that. And then I sleep the whole next day.
I bet. Yeah. So really this is like a 12 to 15-hour day,
Hmm.
and including commuting and all of that, getting ready. And then after that, after you recuperate and get some sleep, you have to edit. And how long does that process take typically? And this is on the
So,
weekend
yeah,
too. Like you're working on the weekend
yeah.
normally. So,
So if I do have a wedding on Saturday, I like to try and take Monday off.
mhm.
Um, just to kind of rest or take more naps if I need to.
Yeah.
But I usually will end up doing a little bit of work because I just don't know what else to do with myself.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time I end up with what's called a backlog. So I'll have like I will film a wedding whenever I still have another wedding to edit. And I mean that's very common in the industry. It just sometimes just be a lot. Basically, once I get to somebody's wedding, I like to start it and finish it like without doing anybody else's. So it's like this one is my full focus. So
Mhm.
once I'm like, okay, starting it, by the time it's all done, it's at least 40 hours of editing. Sometimes more, depending on like how many events there were, what kind of edits they wanted, how long the videos are, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like an average, I would say.
How do you keep it organized of who you need to, like you get the footage onto a hard drive, but how do you keep it organized on which order to go for editing?
I have like a 14 terabyte hard drive built into
Wow.
my computer.
Hmm.
And basically, I label every wedding with the date, and then I just go based on the date. So I like right now have one from April that I need to start. But
Wow.
I
Okay.
can see that it is like it's right there. It's ready to
Hmm.
go. I just have to finish up a few other things
Hmm.
and get going with it. So it's not too hard as long as you like keep track of everything.
Hmm.
I do also use Notion as a like to-do list kind of. I love it, but I hate it at the same time because like
Yeah.
sometimes it's like it's just it's too much, too confusing. Like, how do I do what I want to do? But then other times I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I can do so much with
I agree. I'll usually end up using it for a week or two and then switch to paper pen again. Like I'd like
it.
just a to-do list. This is what I'm doing this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I am terrible with paper. I have so
Oh,
much paper on my desk. I can't do that unless it's for like one day.
yeah.
But yeah, so basically I have like every single video that I have to do on a Notion page. And I have it like once I finish it, so it's like for each wedding, I'll do a ceremony film, a speeches film, and then a highlight film. And so I have all three of those listed out. And once I complete one, I cross it out and then eventually like once the whole project is done, delete it from the list.
Wow.
Then I also have like I've used ChatGPT to kind of make me a timeline of like when I should be getting stuff done.
Hmm.
And that really helps me like because I have ADHD, so it's hard for me sometimes to be like, oh, I have like this project and then this project, and I need to tell the third couple like when to expect their film. If it was just up to me, I'm like, I have no idea how long it's gonna
Yeah.
take me. Like I could not even guess. But if I can go into ChatGPT and say, here's all of the projects I need to do. I have this much time throughout the week to edit. How long will it take me to finish this one? Like what's a good timeline estimate for this to be done? And it'll spit one out for me. So that does help kind of keep me on track as well. But um yeah, it takes a lot of time because you have to like I said, I'd use 4 cameras for the ceremony and at least 3 for the reception events. So
Hmm.
like syncing all of those up, getting the audio synced up as well. It takes some time. And then trying to like color grade everything to be the same and then making it kind of like my style. Like it just takes a lot of time. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of tedious work too. So
Hmm.
it's like you can have like you could do something. Sometimes I'll work into the late night, like midnight or later, just editing something. And then I finally go to bed, open it up the next morning, and I'm like, oh no, I've ruined everything. I have to redo everything. Like it's so terrible. But it's like it one little change can like make or break it. So it's like you just
Wow.
have to really pay attention and
Hmm.
really be in like the mind space to do something sometimes. And it yeah, it's a lot.
And I guess this depends on how many clients you or like how many weddings you're doing. How
Mhm.
long does it usually take for you to turn around the videos that you include?
I take about 15, sometimes up to 20 per year,
Hmm.
being full time. And it with that, I so that's 15 weekends that I'm working.
Hmm.
But I also will second shoot for other people. So like I will go help somebody else at their wedding. So that's like more weekends. So really I end up spending probably 30 weekends a year at weddings. And then like have to recover for a day or two. By the time I like work through my backlog, I try to stay like around 6 months for like from the wedding to delivering everything. There has been times where it's been longer, but that's because I took on too much work and I burnt myself out.
Hmm.
So I've learned from that
Hmm.
that I need to not do that.
Yeah.
But it's hard because it's like a lot of parts of the country, there are certain months that are like the most popular for weddings.
Yep.
Um, like the summer is really big, but then like especially here from September through like the first or second week in November, like a lot of venues will have like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday wedding, like three weddings in one weekend.
Hmm.
So there's just so many weddings within like a 2 month span
Yeah.
that there's another videographer I know that has said like I think it's 60% of his income comes from those 2 months for
Wow.
the whole year. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I can't I physically, mentally, emotionally can't do that. I
Hmm.
have to like give myself a weekend off once a month at least. But yeah, it's but then it's like you get to the end of November, nothing
Yeah.
until maybe April, usually not until May, and June is whenever it really starts to pick up.
Yeah.
So it's a lot and then it's nothing.
Just a bunch of editing basically that
Yep,
season during the season.
yep.
Yeah, I think that's the same here. Like the busier season is in the fall, and
Hmm.
because it's pretty down here in the fall.
Hmm.
What tech gear do you use? Like which cameras, editing software, and then mics? Yeah, I'd love to hear.
A lot. So I use Canon cameras.
Hmm.
And that's kind of controversial in the industry. A lot of people like Sony better.
Hmm.
I will say Sony does have some advantages. I have considered switching, but I'm too far deep into Canon to
Hmm.
to switch now. But I use the Canon R6 Mark II.
Okay.
It is a mirrorless camera, and it is honestly a workhorse. My only issue with it really is that it will overheat sometimes, but for the most part, as long as I'm not recording like an hour long ceremony outside in June, it's okay. So I have two of those, and then I also have the Canon R7, which is basically like a baby version of the R6. So it's just like a li- to not get too technical, the sensor is smaller. So it's just not as good of quality. So it's not the main camera that I want to use all the time. It's kind of like my backup, like wide shot of everything that's going on. And then I'll have a second shooter and they have their own cameras that they bring. So it just depends on who that is. I have a drone. It's a DJI Air 2S. It's a little bit older, but I actually had to buy it in a panic a couple years ago before my one wedding because I was kind of playing around with it and the battery was dying and it flew straight into a tree.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so I had to go to Best Buy and just buy whatever drone they had, and
Hmm.
it was like $1,500 at that
Wow.
time. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. For audio, I have a couple different kinds of audio recorders, but they're all kind of the same. But it's a lapel mic most of the time. The brand is Tentacle, if anybody wants to look it up. But basically, you can get like as many of those devices as you want, and then they can all be like synced up together. So I can start recording from my phone, and then they would all like it's a lot easier to sync them up later because they all start at like the same exact time.
Wow. So the
Um,
audio comes to your phone.
well, it records internally,
Wow.
but it's
Okay.
like a Bluetooth remote kind of
I
on my
see.
phone.
Got it.
Because it's like a little pocket. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you've ever like seen a play or been in theater or anything, it's like how they'll have like the little microphones and they have like the little transmitter thing that they have to
Mm-hmm.
like wear on their back. It's similar to that. Usually I just stick it if it's a person wearing like a um suit jacket. If they have an inside pocket, I slip it in there so it's more
Okay.
hidden and then clip it on like the lapel of their jacket. But if I have a bride and she wants to wear the mic, like if they're doing private vow or personal vows during the ceremony, I have it's called an Insta mic, and it basically is like half the size of an AirPods case.
Wow.
And there's no wires or anything. It's all just like out in the open. But I use double-sided tape and stick it like right inside the top of the dress,
Mm-hmm.
and it picks up really good audio.
That's very cool.
Um, I just kind of turn it on, start recording, and I don't have to do anything with it because it like the way that it records, it is called 32-bit float. I'm getting very technical now. But basically that just means that the audio is not going to peak. So like
Okay.
I don't have to set it to a certain level to make sure that it doesn't like if they scream like get so excited they scream, it's not gonna totally ruin the audio.
Hmm.
So all of that stuff, all of those recorders probably cost minimum $200 each.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I've like upgraded like the actual like lapel cable microphone, and that's like $120. And I think I have two of them now. But then I'll make up the officiant as well. So, and then I also have a um audio recorder that I plug into the DJ's like soundboard
Hmm.
as a backup. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts.
What do you use for editing all the footage?
I use DaVinci Resolve. Um,
Okay.
it is kind of an up and comer. Premiere is like kind of standard, but
Mm-hmm.
I hated it.
Okay.
Like I did learn how to like edit. So whenever I was first getting into video stuff in middle school, I was using Windows Movie Maker,
Mm-hmm.
which is like very bare bones basic kind of video editor.
Yeah.
And it's not even around anymore. Once I was kind of getting into weddings, I bought a like one-off of Adobe Premiere. So this was like before the subscriptions took over, and
Mm-hmm.
you could just buy like one version of one of the Adobe software and just
Yeah.
have that on your computer forever. So I had that. It wasn't like the full version either, so it was like still pretty basic, and my computer just could not handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was rough. Eventually, like got new computers and everything was better, but I just had so many issues with like eventually I had to switch to the Adobe Creative Cloud, and it would just crash all the
Mm.
time. I would be in the middle of working on something and it would crash and I'd lose like the last 10 minutes worth of work.
Wow.
And I just I got to a point where I was trying to export a video and I had told the couple like, yeah, I'm gonna have it done tonight. Like I just have to export it now. It would take sometimes 13 hours to
Wow.
export the videos.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like overnight having to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And this one wasn't gonna take that long. It was a shorter video, but I told the couple like all I have to do is export it and upload it online, so I should have it done tonight.
Yeah.
And every time I went to export it, it crashed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna throw
That's
my
so
computer.
frustrating.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw my computer out the window. Like, I don't know what else to do. And I kind of said that day, like I had been thinking about switching to a different software. Um, I'm not a Mac person, so I don't have like Final Cut or anything like that either. So I was like, well, I've been hearing about this DaVinci program. Might as
Mhm.
well try it. And I just kind of jumped in and was like, it's now or never.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's not perfect either, but it's a lot better in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Da Vinci, if you want to sponsor me.
Yeah, I for mine I use Final Cut Pro. So could a videographer use Final Cut Pro?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there are
Okay.
plenty that use Final Cut. I just personally like I never learned how to use it. I've used it a couple of times for like different jobs and stuff. It's different enough from what I've learned that it's confusing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're
Um,
used to one thing and then having to, it's like
mhm.
just learning a whole new language basically. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And like there are some like going from Premiere to DaVinci isn't terrible.
Hmm.
Because there are enough similarities that you can kind of get the hang of it pretty quickly. But if you're going from Final Cut to either of the other ones, it's a pretty big learning curve.
Got it.
Um, but really like as long as you know how to use the software and make good videos with it, like
Mhm.
it doesn't really matter what you use.
Yeah. Okay. And then speaking of like mishaps that happen with the editing software, how do you handle wedding day struggles? Like if it's raining, what do you do? Or if something goes wrong with the tech, what do you do?
So this past weekend, I actually had quite a few issues
Oh
at
no.
my a wedding I shot. I always have backups for everything. That's why I have three cameras. It's worst case scenario, I have two backups if my main one like doesn't work.
Yeah.
For audio, I have like a couple extra um devices that I can use should it come to that. But yeah, a lot of times it is just kind of being prepared for the worst. It did rain this past weekend. Okay, let me start from the beginning of this past weekend.
Hmm.
I get to the hotel and my camera's being a little funky. I'm like taking a video and it's usually I'll hit the button to record and then I'll hit the button to stop recording. And then it like shows the screen whenever it's not recording. It just like kept blinking like a red light and the screen wasn't going back to normal. And I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. And at one point it did pop up with like your SD card is too slow for the video to fully record.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh no. But I had extra SD cards. So I was just like, okay, like I'm not even gonna try like playing with it. I just took those cards out. I only had a couple clips recorded on them anyway, so I just put them in my little case. I have one of these
Oh,
that I
nice.
bring with me.
Okay.
Um, so I just threw the card in here, grabbed one of my empty cards, and put it in well two because my camera has two SD card slots, so it like records onto two cards at one time
Hmm.
as like a redundancy. I switched out the SD cards and it was okay. We go to the ceremony and reception venue, and it's like bright sun, not a cloud in the sky,
Mm.
and then we just hear a thunder, like in the background, in the very far distance. And we just keep hearing it getting closer and closer, but the sun is still shining, so we're like, it's okay, it's gonna go around us, like positive thoughts. Then just all of a sudden, just this huge dark cloud just rolls over. And within 10 minutes, it starts pouring and like
Oh.
really, really pouring. And at that point, it's a little bit after 3 o'clock, and the ceremony is supposed to start at 4:30. Based on the like radar and everything, it was not supposed to be stopping anytime soon. We kind of leave it up to the couple. We're like, we have the means to do it in the rain if you want. Most of the time they say no. Sometimes they do. They're like, yeah, if it's not like torrential downpours or like lightning's not hitting the ground right in front of us, like we're getting married in the rain. We like
Mhm.
the venue, we picked this venue for a reason. Like it is what it is at that point. So we kind of just got everything ready. Like I got all my tripod cameras up and ready to move as soon as the rain stopped. Luckily, it did stop like 10 minutes before the ceremony was supposed to start, and then
Mhm.
they just had to kind of like wipe down all the chairs because they were soaked. And
Yeah,
the venue owner actually comes out with like a leaf blower, just starts like blowing the water off the
that's
chairs. And
smart.
like I was like, oh, that is I'm gonna have to keep that in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Um, so they get everything ready, everyone starts to sit down, and we were only, I think, like 8 minutes late starting the ceremony. And it was still like a little hint of thunder every once in a while, but it held off throughout the whole ceremony. But what I did just in case, I have these like, is it basically like a clear plastic bag, and it like one side is open and then one side has like a drawstring at the end of it. So I put that over the lens and then pull it back over the camera body.
I know
Because
what you mean.
it almost looks like a boot.
Yeah.
And then put the string on like the end of the lens and pull it tight. And then it covers the camera for the most part. So that's kind of like a rain cover. My cameras are technically like water sealed, waterproof. I forget what the technical term is, but I don't want to trust that.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, like I don't want to test it during a wedding, so like I'm just gonna do that. I've had the umbrellas that you can kind of like connect to the tripod and have, but I had one
Yeah.
like tip over in the wind
Oh,
before, so I don't
that
use those
makes sense.
anymore.
Yeah.
If I have like my second shooter, I'll have them hold an umbrella over the camera. Yeah, and then most of it is just hoping, a lot of hope that
Hmm.
it holds off.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
a pain.
yeah. And then like later in the day, one of my the same camera that had a card issue earlier, as soon as they were doing like the grand entrance, the my camera put up a notice. It's like movie has stopped recording. I'm like, why? We're going? Why right now? And then it was like card one is full. I'm like, how is it full? How is only the one full? And I was just like, whatever, pulled the one out and just hit record again because I had that second card in there. So
Hmm.
like luckily I probably only missed like a couple seconds of it, but it was like I was holding the card in my hand, filming with the other one. Like
Wow.
I was just like, I don't want to put this down anywhere. I don't want to put this in my bag because I don't want it to like corrupt or break or something. So
Yeah.
I'm just like holding it in my hand while I'm still shooting. And as soon as that was over, I like called my second shooter over. I was like, I need you to take the lead right now with your camera
Hmm.
because I need to switch out my cards and switch them out again. So I was like, I am so glad I brought enough extra cards that I like
Yeah.
had them for that, but it was very stressful, but it all worked out.
That's good. So you have to be like quick thinking, bring a
Yes.
shit ton of cards
Yes.
and have
I
them near, like right on your pocket,
yes.
basically. Got
Yep.
it.
Like
Gosh.
these are all cards from one wedding.
Okay.
And like
Jeez.
they're not like the cheap like
Yeah.
$10 cards that you can buy online. Like I get them from like a camera store,
Hmm.
because a lot of SD cards off Amazon have been counterfeit lately,
Oh,
and they
wow.
just corrupt, or it'll say it's like 128 gigabytes whenever it really only has like 32 gigabytes available. Like
Wow.
it's crazy.
Good to
So
know.
I get them from a store called B&H, Photo Video. It's in New York, but they have a website.
Hmm.
And they're like very well known, very trusted. I just spent $500 on more cards because I'm like, I don't want that to happen again. I'm
Hmm.
switching out any that are like the slower ones that I was using. I'm like, yep, time to upgrade.
Yeah.
Like it was
Well,
working for a while and then it wasn't. So I think they're like 50 or $60 a piece.
okay.
So it's not the worst and like I can reuse them um for all the weddings, but it's like just to have enough to have peace of mind.
Hmm.
It's like, alrighty,
Yeah.
here's $500 on SD cards.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
So to wrap up this kind of for the videographer
Hmm.
section, what do you think is the essential skills or characteristics for a videographer to have, specifically for
Yes.
weddings, I would say.
Yes. The biggest thing that kind of ruins a videographer's reputation in this industry is not communicating enough. And I've done this as well. I've not communicated enough, just from getting overwhelmed with how much you have to do. As long as you tell people, like, hey, I am working on it. Like, I have a couple other projects before yours. Um, but like, this is when I should have an update for you by this day. Just sending updates like that really goes a long way. Not ghosting your clients goes a long way.
Hmm.
There are some people who just aren't patient and won't understand. But I've had a couple before say, I mean, yeah, we plan to be married for a while, so it doesn't really matter to us.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm like, okay,
that's good.
that's the attitude I like. But yeah, so just be an over communicator with
Okay.
your clients. Also, don't have an ego. There are a lot of videographers who think the day is about them, and I have had to basically like fight that stigma almost
Hmm.
and be like, I am not like that. Please be nice to me, to like the other
Yeah.
vendors. And yeah, there are some videographers that ruin it for everybody. So just don't be one of them. Be willing to take feedback, be willing to work as a team with all of the other vendors that are hired. Remember, it is the couple's wedding day. It's not like a shoot for you. It's not
Hmm.
content for you. Um, and don't get in it if you're in it for the money, because really you would make more money elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you really, really have to like editing and doing video, and you really have to enjoy being in people's wedding day and kind of telling the love story of it.
Hmm.
Like, it has to be something that if money wasn't a thing, you didn't have to worry about it. It'd be something that you would do no matter what. A lot of people get into the industry thinking like, oh yeah, I can make like $5,000 doing one wedding day, but they don't realize everything else that goes into it. And that just trips a lot of people up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a lot more personal skills that I recommend, because like you can learn all of the technical video skills, and you can study, and I mean you can even like outsource editing if that's not something you're good at.
Yeah.
Um, but you really can't make up for the people skills that you
Yeah,
need.
that's true. That's good advice. And I think this actually transitions nicely into the like couple side of the
Hmm.
person who's looking for a videographer. Because I was going to ask you about like what's actually included in a package and
Hmm.
what people are really paying for, but you kind of just explained it all. So like in my notes, the hours that you're working there, you get the video, of course, that you're editing, and you do multiple, so highlight video, full ceremony, so on and so forth. Do you give raw footage to people? Is that too much to ask for from couples?
So some videographers don't like to give raw footage.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Um, Personally, I will give it as long as like the couple is booking like my regular package too. So it's
Okay.
more like an
Hmm.
add-on. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh, we want to just have the raw footage and we'll edit it ourselves," when
Oh.
it's like you don't need you probably can't even open the footage if
Hmm.
it's like a legit videographer who's using like good equipment. It records in a format that regular computers can't open.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people just don't know what they're getting, and they are like, yeah, we can do it for cheaper, we'll just pay you to shoot and that's it. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
There's more to it than that. But
Okay.
um yeah, personally, I like looking through old footage and stuff. So I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, if you want it, I'll
Hmm.
give it to you. But usually I just have them pay for like hard drive and mail it so that we're not dealing with slow internet or anything like
Okay,
that.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So that could be included in the price.
Hmm.
Editing revisions,
Hmm.
if they're like, oh, we want that changed. The
Hmm.
gear that you buy, that's obviously more so like a one-time purchase for you or like every so often, but still a high
Yeah,
investment. And
yeah.
yeah.
I like my throughout my years, I've bought and sold and bought new gear like so
Hmm.
much. I'm like, I don't even know how many cameras I've had at this point. Like I'm just
Yeah.
constantly upgrading stuff. I
Hmm.
do feel like I'm at a point now where I don't have to upgrade, but then I go and I break one of my lenses and I have to send it off
Hmm.
to get fixed, and that was uh, a measly $670.
Yeah. And then new cameras, the SD cards you were just talking
Hmm.
about. So yeah, all of that
Hmm.
costs money for you.
Yeah, like I
The
literally
prep.
just bought a new lens. It was $1,500 to
Wow.
buy it. Second time I used it, dropped it on the front, and it was $670 to get it fixed.
That's so upsetting. It's one of the, it's like when you drop your phone and you're like, please don't be cracked. Like
Yeah,
you're just hoping to pick it up
which
undamaged,
like
but
it wasn't totally broken, which
hmm.
was I was like such a relief, but then it was dented a little bit, so I was like, oh, I gotta send it in anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
could have been worse.
Gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, so all of that goes into the cost. You prepping, you having the calls, potentially going to like venues to scope things
Hmm.
out if you do that, the actual shooting time, editing time, insurance, the backups you do. So in the grand scheme of things, a couple can expect to pay, like 1,500 to 5,000 plus, divided by all of that, you're not profiting that much. So I think just having that, like I honestly didn't even think of that myself, like all these things when because I really want a videographer, but I was like,
Hmm.
maybe we'll get one for our party. And it makes sense that it's so expensive because you see that price, like, wow, 2,000, 3,000, and it's like
Hmm.
for that's it, or like that much for just a few hours, but it makes sense like when
Hmm.
you factor in all those things. So,
Yeah. Plus, it's like for I'm not coming for photographers, but whenever they're editing their photos, they could like watch TV or
hmm.
like watch YouTube videos. And it's like if you're editing a video, you have to be locked in.
Yeah.
You cannot have any other noises, no distractions. Like you really, really have to focus.
Hmm.
And it's different because like the whole video has to feel cohesive and put together. Whereas with a photo, like if one photo is a little bit off, it's not going to throw off the entire gallery
Yeah.
of everything. So it it's different. People you don't really know until you like actually experience it
Hmm.
what all goes into it.
Yeah, and for couples that are booking all these different vendors, is it important for them to consider like who you're working with as far like the photographers, the other vendors that they may be hiring, like what makes it work or what makes it a problem for you to work with other vendors?
So a lot of times I have problems with DJs.
Wow. Why is that?
Because whenever so part of my audio recording setup, I will have a recording, I forget what you call it. It's like a field recorder.
Hmm.
So you plug in a cable and then you can plug the cable into the DJ's soundboard or their speaker,
Hmm.
and it'll record everything that's coming through that. And usually it's not the best anyway. So like it's more of a backup in case something goes wrong with the other sources of audio that I have. Sometimes DJs get weird about that. They're like, no, you can't plug into my software. You can't plug into my speaker. Like, you're gonna mess it up. It's gonna look bad on me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, I've never had that problem before, but okay. Um,
Yeah.
and then especially for speeches, well, speeches and the ceremony, if they're using handheld mic for the officiant or the person giving the speech, I have this little recorder that I put in, it's like a nylon sleeve that's black. So like can't even see it. It pretty much just blends in with the rest of the microphone. But then the little recorder is like in the sleeve so
Okay.
that it's attached. Um,
Hmm.
and then whenever the people are speaking into the microphone, that recorder is also picking up. the audio. But it's all like self-contained. It's recording into itself. So it's not like transmitting anything. It's not Bluetooth or anything like that. But there are just some DJs who are like, that looks bad on me, or
Mm.
like they're like, well, if it does cause an issue, it is going to look bad on me. I'm like, well, I've never had an issue with this before. I know so many other people who do this who have never had an issue with it before.
Yeah.
And I actually had one where I almost like argued with him over it because I'm
Hmm.
like, I like he just had such an ego about everything. And I was like, I don't know who like ruined it for everybody, but like if I don't get good audio from the way that I normally do stuff, that's gonna look bad on me.
Hmm.
That's gonna come back on me. So it's either I do this or I have to individually mic up with like a lapel mic every single person that's gonna be speaking.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you can just do this. But there's like a handful of DJs who are just very arrogant
Hmm.
and don't want to work with you on anything, and they're like, do it all yourself. And it just makes like the whole day, like it takes more time for me then to mic up everybody, and
Hmm.
it makes it to where like I am more stressed because it's not something I was planning on. It's not how I normally do things.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I have backups for a reason, and it's because I've gotten burned from one time or another. This way that I do it doesn't work.
Hmm.
Or like if a DJ's speaker system like goes out, like if the person is moving around and they go like out of the wireless signal, it's like, well, if I'm recording only from the speaker
Hmm.
that it's coming out of, I lose that part where it doesn't pick up what they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's like I need to have options. So yeah, that's like the biggest issue that I'll have on a wedding day. I will have sometimes photographers that kind of get like we just butt heads. But it's more of like they just don't want to work together.
Yeah.
Um, and see it more as like competition when it's not.
I
Like
see.
like we're doing totally different things. Like I know we're recording kind of like and like taking photos of the same thing, but like it's way different. Like
Yeah.
totally different. The couple hired both of us for our own like styles of doing things. So let's just work together. But a lot of that actually comes from like the style of the photographer. So if it's like a photographer that is more, I like to say old school, like
Hmm.
they do the very stiff, like pose, look at the camera, smile, off camera flash that they like take outside even, like it's a very distinct style.
Hmm.
Um, that doesn't translate to video like at all because it
I
is
see.
so stiff.
Yeah, people are just like
Yeah.
standing there for,
Yeah. And
yeah,
it's
that
like,
makes sense.
yeah, so like then it just adds more time that it's like, okay, now I need you to do something for me. And it's like we just go
Yeah.
back and forth and it's it's hard to work with somebody who has such a hard like it's such a different style from you.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean most of the time they're okay to like work with you and just like go back and forth, but um that just adds more time that we need,
Hmm.
or it cuts into the time that we do have.
Yeah.
So just things to consider.
Yeah.
um
No, that's good to know because even like I still need to get a videographer and I'm probably gonna look today actually like after we talk and that's good to know because I can like ask, do you need to plug into the DJ soundboard? And then I could, relay that to the DJ.
mhm,
So yeah, just things to be aware of as the like booking couple.
mhm.
And then do people tip you? Like, is it expected for you to be tipped?
So it's not expected.
Hmm.
Any if somebody does tip, I appreciate it, obviously. But it's not like necessary.
Yeah.
I do have people that'll like tip the second shooter. Um,
Okay.
so it's like it's not their business. So they're just coming and helping and getting paid for the hours that they're there. So then
Hmm.
they give them a tip. Last year, I didn't get very many tips, and I was like, whatever, I'm charging what I need to make anyway.
Yeah.
But then like so far this year, almost every single one of my weddings has given me a tip. I'm like, wow, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, and usually what I do with that is like I'll keep it for myself and like I'll go get a massage or
Okay.
I'll go out for like a nice meal later that week. Like
Yeah.
kind of try to just let myself do something nice with it.
Hmm.
But I mean, I've gone anywhere from like $50. I actually had one send me a check in the mail as a tip, and it was like 8 months after the wedding. And they were like, "We love the video. Thank you so much." And then they sent me this check in the mail, and it was for $500.
Wow, that's so nice.
Yeah. And like they were my highest paying couple at that time too. So I was just like,
Hmm.
whoa.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that does always feel good whenever somebody's like, we love it so much, here's more money. Like it's definitely not needed. Honestly, I would rather somebody like leave me a review on Google,
Mhm.
and just say like hire her, like she's amazing, and like list everything that you like that I did, or tell your friends about me, like recommend me to people, like that kind of thing is just as meaningful. Even a little thank you card with like just a note in it is fine too. Like
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Good to know. So what would you say is the one thing you wish couples knew before booking you or a videographer in general?
I feel like there's always like a couple things that I say for this question. Right now, I think the biggest one is just that you should find a videographer that you completely align with, that you can see yourself in their films. There are videographers who have like a very cookie cutter way that they edit, and if
Mhm.
that's what you like, you know what you're gonna get, you know what to expect, and like that's all good. Um, and for me, I tend to edit, like my editing style kind of changes depending on the couple. So like the vibe from one wedding would be completely different from a vibe from another wedding. So their films are not going to be the same. Like it's just going to be totally different. I don't know how to explain it other than just like show two samples, but um basically for me, I really like to listen to what the couple wants.
Mhm.
But some people, I'm sure, like they don't know what they're gonna get. They don't know what to expect necessarily. So that could be a turnoff from them. And if that's not what you want, then that's fine. But whenever you hire somebody just because they fit, like the price, for example, like
Yeah.
you hire somebody just based off the price, and then you come to them and you're like, I want this. I had somebody send me 22 pages of
Oh,
photos,
wow.
like poses that they wanted
Hmm.
to make, like recreate basically. And
Hmm.
it's like, okay, like these are not going to translate to video very well at all. And like the vibe of the photos, like the venue and the decorations was completely different from what they were doing. So I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, I was really stressed about it. And at one point, they even told me, like, the person we wanted to hire is was based in Philly, and
Mm.
we just couldn't afford the travel fees. I'm
Wow.
like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's so rude.
And basically, as like inspiration, they sent me like a couple links then, and I was just like, okay, glad you picked me, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, and then once I did deliver everything, they come back 5 months later after I've delivered everything, didn't hear anything from them, with like a multiple paragraph, like detailed list of everything that they wanted changed.
Wow.
And I sent it to some of my friends. I was like, am I like overreacting or is this a lot? Because
Yeah.
like I might have had somebody, like I've had a couple people say, can you switch out this clip or can you add a clip of like this moment that we had? But like it was so much. And I was like, I don't get why they hired me.
Hmm.
Like it was so far from the style that I normally do that like the whole time I was just so stressed that they weren't gonna like it. And they did, like I fixed everything that they wanted changed and they said they loved it now. So I'm
Okay,
like,
that's good.
whatever, it's fine. But now I have in my contract that you have to request changes within 30 days
Hmm.
because I'm not waiting 5 months between delivering it and
Yeah.
getting an email to go back and change it because at that point I've moved on. I've moved on to other clients. I
Hmm.
may have like archived the footage onto like a different
True.
hard drive that then I
Hmm.
have to like pull it back out and that takes some time. Like it um oh the best part of that, just a little side note, she emails me this on a Wednesday. Their 1 year anniversary is that Saturday. She's
Wow.
like, if you could have it done for our anniversary, that'd be amazing. It was like 3 days from now.
Lower your expectations, please.
uh,
Wow.
but yeah, so basically just pick somebody that not only you like their work that they've shown, but you like them as a person. Because they're gonna be with you for the entire day.
Yeah, a special
Um,
day.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And yeah, just book somebody that makes you feel good, I
okay.
guess.
That's really good to know. Yeah, because I think it is easy to go based off the price and be like, oh, that's in our budget. So their videos look pretty good, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think also, at least for me, it gets a little bit exhausting, like watching some of the video. Like, I don't want to watch all these videos and see if I like
This
it, compare
might
it to
be a
this one. Yeah.
might be
So
a hot take from a videographer, but I hate watching other wedding videos.
really, okay. Yeah, they're just like,
There are
I don't
certain
care.
people, yeah, there's certain people that I will watch their videos because I am like just I like what they do.
Yeah.
But just the standard wedding video, I'm just kind of like, okay, scrolling on.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh, but
That's how I feel too. Just, yeah, it's hard to sift through
yeah.
all these videographer options because of
Hmm.
that.
And you don't want to
Okay.
only watch like one because what
Yeah.
if that one is like a one-off hit for
Mm-hmm.
them? Like
True.
you want to do your due diligence, but it definitely gets tiring.
Yeah. No, this is all good to know. This is helpful for sure for me going into this. So that kind of wraps up that section. So I have just a couple of like more fun questions around
Yeah.
all of this. Are there parts of weddings that, well, let me just say, which one wedding thing do you like love? Parts of weddings that you love, or trends even? And then what do you hate or you're tired of seeing? Or what's like, ew, that's
Mm.
weird.
The thing that ooh, that's weird for me is the garter toss whenever it's like overly sexualized and
Yeah.
like a lap dance basically
Yeah.
and like grandma's sitting there just like hiding
Or
her
the
eyes and
dad
oh
watching. Oh my God.
I'm
Yeah.
just like I don't feel like I should be recording this right now like this feels kind of weird and
Yeah.
just like the history of that too like a lot of wedding traditions actually like the history of them is kind of wild.
Hmm.
Like the reason for bridesmaids originally was to protect the bride from
Mm.
being kidnapped or sometimes it was like some stories say from them being kidnapped from another groom or
Wow.
them being like possessed by demons. Like basically the bridesmaids would take the demons instead of the
Mm.
bride.
That's
Like
so interesting. I didn't know that.
it's there's a lot of crazy lore with weddings. And it some of it is just kind of like, okay, we don't need to do
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think everybody's kind of on the same like thought process with the garter toss part of the
Yeah.
traditions now.
I wouldn't want that whatsoever.
No.
No, thank you.
um, and then the thing that I really like right now, I am obsessed with lighting.
Hmm.
Like whenever there's uplighting or which is like lighting like on the walls, or just like spotlights. Like some venues, you can put like spotlights up on the roof and then it shines directly down onto the centerpiece of the table. Like playing with lighting like that, there I've seen these little like cordless USB lamps that people are getting and putting on the tables as part of
Mm,
the
good
centerpiece.
idea. Yeah.
Like it just looks so good. Like in person and on video, I'm just like, oh, I'm obsessed with this. Like,
Okay, good to know. No, I'm gonna do like a lot of DIY decor,
yes.
so I could do that. That's
And
cool.
make sure that you look on like Facebook. There's like bridal resale groups
Yeah.
that like people sell all their old stuff.
Do you ever judge people's music choices?
Mm, not necessarily the music itself. It's more of if people are actually dancing to it.
Okay.
So it's like, can you read the room? Can you like pick songs that your friends and family like? Is the
Hmm.
dance floor packed enough? Like whenever the dance floor is kind of lame, I'm just like, I don't know what to do because it's like I have enough footage of like the two people that are dancing, but now what?
Yeah, that's a good point because it's like personally, we want the music we want, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
And there's going to be a mix of things, but I mean, I'm honestly okay if it's just the two of us or just a few of us dancing, like it's
Hmm.
my party.
Yeah.
But for you, I could understand how that would be
Hmm.
challenging
Yeah.
without
I
the
mean, I
footage.
love whenever it's like not everyday wedding music.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, even if it's like just a group of like five friends all dancing with you,
Yeah.
like that is fun and I can like work
Okay.
with that more, but
Hmm.
definitely do what you want to do. Like,
Right.
don't take other people's opinions too seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, this is all really helpful. And hopefully for anybody who wants to become a videographer or is about to get married and interested in booking a videographer, this was helpful. Any final words for all of this?
Mm, it is a lot more expensive than you think going into it, so just be prepared to spend a lot of money on a lot of stuff you didn't even know you needed.
Yeah.
That goes for both for weddings and for being a videographer.
Okay. Yeah. And where can people find you? Your website and that info.
Yes. So my website is m20media.biz, B-I-Z. And then my Instagram is m20media. I'm on TikTok a little bit, but most of what I post is Instagram. And then my YouTube I have is also m20media.
So those will be linked in the description. First episode will also be linked in the description or the show notes. Let Mara know if you have any questions. She is in the comments very frequently. You'll probably see her name come up in comments. But yeah, if you have any questions, either reach out to her or comment. But thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, thanks for having me.